To Black Coffee, no sugar, no cream. We have in the studio with us from the UK promoter, Neil Rushden. We have Mr. Phil Dick, who does the Trader Go-Go. And we have the techno brother, family member, friend of mine, Kevin Saunderson. But we also have Trisha, the show's producer, who comes from behind the scenes, sometimes kicking and screaming. So I'm going to turn it over to her and let her ask a few questions of Kevin.
Well, this is really a very epic show, and I'm very honored to be here amongst you all. But when you think about techno music, like in the 80s, I was like 10, and my brother used to just play this music, and I'm like, oh my goodness, and it's so universal. But then when you think about techno music, a lot of people think, well, that's only music for a certain genre of people, right? But what are some of the myths that you would say there are about techno music?
Well, I mean, techno music it's been designed to bring people together. So I can tell you, when I was at Eastern Michigan University and I started creating music, one of my visions was to bring the world together. And the reason I had that vision is because on campus, how you have your fraternities, different fraternities, right? So you had black fraternities, you had white fraternities, basically, up at Eastern. And, it was in the moment where I was creating this music, like 85, 86, 87, somewhere right around there. And I would notice, the white fraternities all would be together, and they would listen to rock music, drinking beer, not dancing. And the black fraternities, we would be doing these big parties, and I had become this DJ now. I was in a fraternity, so I am in a fraternity, so I started playing for my fraternity. That's how I really got my break and was able to practice. But I kept thinking, this music ain't just for black people. It's for everybody. It's for the world. And dance, it makes you dance, and it makes you feel a certain way inside, especially the way we were creating it,
right,
along with house music. And it was really all about bringing the world together. So now here we go, 35 years now, and everybody around the world is dancing to techno. It has brought the world together. Some amazing events all around the world. And, it started out with a handful of people dancing, and it's great to see that vision come true.
You answered a question that I was going to ask you, because it's such crossover music, and it has touched so many people's lives. So that was your plan then from the very beginning. It wasn't like it just happened. You actually planned it that way.
Oh, I planned it. I didn't know if I was going to be successful, but that was my thing to make that happen, to do that. And yes.
Wow, that's awesome.
It is awesome.
Responsibility to make sure that our music touches people's lives, or do you just create music and whatever happens with it just happens?
Well, for me, I think I always wanted to create music that touched people's lives, because that's what made me feel good inside as well. The music I created and how it connects with people. And then when you actually get out there and you start touring and you start playing for these audience, and you see you actually are, it wasn't an accident. It was meant to be. And I find that part of my place. I don't know about every artist, but I think that was definitely, it was meant to be for me. And music I was listening to there, there was some great music out at that time, but also it had switched over. It had started changing into hip hop and stuff like that, and real tough kind of hip hop. It was really negative for me, so I went completely the opposite direction, and I didn't want to be like everybody else. I wanted to do something unique and different. So for me, inner city especially, we try to do uplifting music, uplifting songs always. We do stuff in the community. Got something coming up in London very soon where we're going to be working with just some younger kids on some music stuff, and my vocalists, just trying to help and inspire people who are looking for opportunities as well.
you so much, Mr. Neil Rushden. A pleasure to see this come full circle. You know, you were Kevin's first manager and promoted him, got him signed to a record label, and here you are, 30 plus years later, back in the same room together. Yeah. My hat's off to you and all that, the hard work you put in to helping promote him and make him an artist. Mr. Phil Dick, I can't say enough about the Go-Go. I will be there watching my uncle perform of the Elgins. And as you said before, a lot of family members hadn't seen their relatives perform. I was one of them. I didn't know how. I knew a lot of people used to gather at my grandmother's home when my uncle would come to town, but he was just my uncle. I would run up and get the typical hug or whatever, but I didn't know he was this spectacular singer and a part of a group that was known around the world. So when I went to the Go-Go, that was not only my first time seeing him perform, but his daughters, Sharnice and Denise, it was their first time seeing their father perform also. So you really touched a lot of lives with the Motown A Go-Go event. And Kevin, I can't say enough about having you in the studio. Any parting words you would like to say to our audience as we exit for the evening?
Just, you know, I've been fortunate, I've been blessed, and I love doing what I do. And I'm gonna keep doing it the best way I know how. And I'm just blessed, and it is amazing to see you after all these years.
Yes.
So thank you for having me.
Oh my God. You know, I'm just elated. Words cannot express how I feel about this moment to be here together. It has made my day, and I know it will make my week. And I want to be in the audience. Well, I won't say in the audience. I have a little bit of claustrophobia. Can I be in the booth with you on December 7th? I want everybody up there like, hey,
We'll definitely get you up there for sure.
Can I get in a VIP booth with you on December 7th?
Oh,
that
yeah.
would be great.
You can do that. For sure.